the Flipping and Wholesaling Houses in New York show. I am Michael Pinter. I teach you how to start flipping or wholesaling houses in New York, or if you're already doing it, how to grow your business. Got a question today. Can real estate agents wholesale? So the short answer is absolutely yes. Stay to the end. I'm going to explain to you why I believe anyone wholesaling should be licensed. So, um, what some gurus out there say is that you don't want to be licensed because there could be a conflict of your fiduciary duty. Because if you're a real estate agent, then why are you buying the property at a discount? So to that I say absolute 100% complete and absolute bullshit. It's almost never the case that someone who wants to sell you a property at a discount has an option and is seriously considering listing it, right? Because if they were doing that, then they would list it because they're going to get more money. And that's one of the first things I tell people. Listen, if you want to squeeze every dollar out of this property, you should list it. They're going to sell at a discount because they don't want to list it for some reason, or they can't list it. Either the condition of the property is horrible, either they believe they're going to be they're going to have to make repairs, or they have a time constraint on both sides. Either they have to close very quickly, or they just don't want to be on a buyer's timeline. It might be that they don't want people in their house. It might be that they're embarrassed about the way it looks. It might be that they had a bad experience with a real estate agent. There could be a lot of reasons why, but I've never had somebody say, well, you see, I can list it, I make $50,000 more, but I'm going to sell it to you. There's a reason why. So that's reason one. Number two is they like to talk crap about listing with a real estate agent, which I think is nuts, right? Let's be perfectly honest. In the United States of America, about 90% of the houses that sell in almost any area are going to be listed with an agent to sell. The idea that I'm somehow going to circumvent the seller from thinking about that is insane. Sellers know they can list. They sell to us because of some kind of convenience or certainty that we provide. Now, so I say absolutely not. You absolutely can wholesale. The question is, how does a real estate agent wholesale? So you have to check with your local board of realtors. But I can tell you, my board of realtors, LIBOR, the Long Island Board of Realtors, is perfectly fine with a licensed person wholesaling and even listing it on the MLS. The only thing you're not allowed to do is represent that you own the property if you're in contract. So you have to list the owner as the contract vendee. Hey, I'm in contract, I'm looking to assign the contract. You can do that. You can put it on the MLS perfectly fine. I've checked. So you absolutely can also. I personally believe that every person who does this should be licensed. Right? And I've spoken about this a lot, and I'm going to continue talking about it. Right? So I learned from a great man in Boston named Tom Caffarella, who has a humongous brokerage that he sort of opened by accident when he was flipping houses. And he started and still does send these agents on his appointments, right? He finds the good ones, he makes them work on the phone, set some appointments, and then go on these appointments for either possible listings or possible investor buys. And he has his own mailing equipment. I'm talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars of mail equipment. I've been to his office several times. And he says that he pays for all of his marketing. So I'm talking about probably 7 figures a year from his listing commissions that he gets from his agents that are out there. So that really opened my eyes probably about 6-7 years ago that not only is investing and being a realtor not in conflict, but they actually work in conjunction. So people ask me what I do, and I tell them, listen, I do two things. I buy properties that need work, I fix them up and I sell them. And I'm also a traditional realtor. If you listing is what is best for you, then we'll do that. And the real questions you want to ask a seller are, hey, are you looking to squeeze every dollar out of this property? And most people will say yes. But then you have to ask them, is this really the most important thing to you? And sometimes they're going to say no. They're going to say, no, I don't want the hassle. I want to know that this is going to close, right? What a lot of people don't know is that a standard real estate transaction in New York has a mortgage contingency, which is really a get out of contract free card. And there are a lot of people who have been burned, including me. It just happened to me on a property we had listed for 3 months, where you'll have a property listed for 3 months, and then you get a text, a phone call, an email saying, hey, from the attorney, for example, my client was rejected for the mortgage, please return the deposit. There is nothing. You send us proof, you send us a denial, and you get the deposit back, and we're back to square one. So that is true. There are people who don't want to deal with that. They need the certainty that an investor provides, because when I go into contract, I have no contingencies, right? Every contract I go into, I have the seller is going to get the number that I told them they would, right? I have to either I can assign it, um, some most of the time, or I have to close on it. But either way, the seller knows they're getting that money. So you don't know that on a standard real estate contract. You don't. So I recommend to anybody who's investing, whether you're wholesaling or even if you're rehabbing, doesn't matter. If you're dealing with the sellers directly, to be licensed, right? And there are three main reasons why you want to be licensed. The first is you want access to the multiple listing service, the MLS. Now, you possibly can get access to that other ways. Maybe your sister's a realtor and she'll give you her credentials. It's not really legal, but it happens sometimes. But if you don't have access to the MLS, you want access to the MLS, because the MLS, the multiple listing service, is the best way for you to comp out properties and come up with valuations. And you need to be able to do that. Now, there is a second way. A prop stream is like 85% as good. If you don't want to get licensed, that's an option. That's $97 a month. But the truth is, MLS access is $700 a month anyway. Sorry, let me take a drink. So number one, you want access to the MLS. Number two is you want the ability to list your own property. So if you're rehabbing, doing any kind of work, and you're going to sell it retail, or even if you're wholesaling, which means you buy it, do almost no work, and put it back on the market, you want to be able to control that listing and not have to pay a seller's agent, 2% on that. Um, But even if you're wholesaling, as I said before, you can list that property on the MLS as a contract vendee, which means you are in contract, and you can build your buyers list that way, and that's a great plan. So um, that's number two. Number three is, if you're going on enough appointments, you're going to come into contact with people who really have no business and will never sell their property to an investor. Now, could you qualify that out over the phone and only ask them what they're looking for and their pricing? Sometimes. Without a doubt, even as much as you do that, you're going to come into contact with people who want to list, and you're going to come into contact with people who should list. So I had an appointment the other day, got into the house. House is in perfect condition, nice area. Guy tells me he wants to close in 2 months. I go, is that really important, or do you have more time? He goes, no, I have more time. I said, well, then there's no reason for you to sell this to me or any other investor. I go, you're going to leave a lot of money on the table. There's no reason to leave it there. Let me list it for you. I'll tell you what number we get, what number I think you should get, what number you should list at, and what I think you'll get. And that'll be the way you get the most money. And he was like, great. So that was a listing. Now, I understand the thought process of saying, well, maybe that guy would have sold it to me. I don't believe I had a real shot of ever buying that property at a significant discount. There was no reason for him to go below. Now, every situation is different, right? If that guy told me I must close in 60 days, I would say you really have to sell it to an investor, and you're going to give up some money by that. But this guy said, no, I have time. So the idea that I'm never going to come in contact with somebody who wants the list is foolish and wrong. I promise you it's wrong. I've gone into appointments thinking there's no way this person is ever going to list, and then it ended up listing with me. And I've gone into situations where I thought there's no way this person is going to sell it to me at a discount, and they sold it to me at a discount. Every situation is different. So to me, it's incredibly foolish, naive, and ignorant to say I'm not going to be a realtor because realtors suck. When if you're speaking to sellers trying to buy properties, you're going to absolutely come into contact with people who not only is listing in their best interest, but for a lot of people, listing is their only option, right? In other words, they never really even understood what an investor is. They just thought you're some retail buyer. And I mean, I went on an appointment yesterday. The guy wants full retail, right? I'm going to offer him a lot less. I'm probably not going to buy that property. But if I had gotten to him, he may end up listing with me. It's a possible. It's a possibility. So I recommend everyone who's wholesaling or marketing direct to sellers be licensed as a realtor for sure for those three reasons. Absolutely. So I hope this was helpful. If you're interested in all other ways I can help you, go to howtoflipnewyork.com. If you're interested in finding out a little bit about a course that I have that teaches how to do what I do, go to howtoflipnewyorkcourse.com. If you are interested in finding out more about one-on-one coaching, which I charge way too little for, go to coaching.howtoflipnewyork.com. If you are, what else? Oh, if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. If you're watching on any channel, please click the thumbs up. The likes really help my SEO, my search engine optimization, so more people get to see my videos. And what else? Oh, keep the comments coming, right? So I post 5 times a week. I don't always have material to talk about. I just draw a blank sometimes. And any comment is fine. It doesn't even have to be about the video you're watching. If it's a simple answer, I'll just reply. If it's something I've covered before, I'll send you links to the videos on it, video or videos on it. And if it's a new topic, I'll do a new video on it. So thank you very, very much for watching.